So what I'd like to do now is talk quickly about an example of testing done right. The example that I'm going to use is an open source database called Sqlite, and you can read about it more at the URL here. And so what Sqlite is, this small open source database that's designed to be easily embeddable in other applications. And it's really very widely used by companies like Airbus, Dropbox. It's used in various Apple products. Android phones run Sqlite inside, and there are really a lot more examples. And by the way, Sqlite has good Python bindings if you want to use it yourself. So this database is implemented in about 78,000 lines of code. So you can see it's sort of a medium to small sized project as software projects go. Now, on the other hand, the test suite for Sqlite comes out to more than 91 million lines of code. So another way to think about that is there's more than 1,000 times more tests than code. So if we have Sqlite's code over here, it's going to be dwarfed by this gigantic mountain of test code. And so what we might ask is, well, what's in this test code? How is Sqlite tested? What it turns out is the author of Sqlite has achieved 100% branch coverage, 100% MC/DC coverage. The author has done a large amount of random testing, and that'll be the subject of units 4, 5, and 6 of this class. Boundary value testing has been used. The code contains a ton of assertions. It's run under Valgrind, a tool I mentioned earlier that is good for finding bugs in programs written in C. Sqlite is subjected to integer overflow checks, and a large amount of fault injection tests are performed. So what you can see here is that almost everything I've told you about in this course so far, almost every single testing technique, and many of the coverage metrics have been applied to Sqlite, and the result is it's generally a really solid piece of software. One reaction you might have when you see 1,000 times more tests than code is that that's pretty extreme. On the other hand, when you consider the large number and wide variety of users that Sqlite has, it's pretty great that it's been tested so thoroughly. Of course, what I'm not doing here is advocating that you go out and write 1,000 times more lines of tests than you have code. But on the other hand, it's nice to see that certain people who have extremely widely used codes actually do this kind of thing.